Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, KGRA proudly brings to you its pop culture minefields, Dork Side of the Ring! The Dork Knight, Danny Ballard, The Atmosphere, Joe Rivers, the Dork Side of the Ring! And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. Suck it! Happy Mother's Day, everyone. This is Danny, the Dork Knight. With a special episode of Dork Side of the Ring. So what we're going to do is I'm going to introduce the co-hosts, and then we're going to show an interview that we had with professional wrestler Nikki Victory a few weeks ago, and then we are going to discuss it after the interview, after the break, and then we'll get into this week in wrestling. So without any further ado, I'd like to bring in my buddy Joe.
Going on, brother? Happy Mother's Day to all you mamas out there, including Penny in the chat. What's up?
Hey, happy Mother's Day, Mom. And I like your Nikki Victory simp. That's funny. He's got the shirt.
Got it.
The link is in the description to her t-shirt shop, and I'm sure we can get Doss Wolfen or somebody to throw it in the chat for us as well.
I'll grab it and put it in the.
But she has some shirts, and of course, coming in at the very last moment. But he did make it, so that's good. We got our buddy Johnny Rock here.
Technically not late.
Right.
Hey, in my defense, I was on the phone with my mother.
There you go. Got to do it. I
We're
had to call my
Italians,
mom
we
at like
talk.
7:15 this morning, man, because she goes to church religiously and takes her about half an hour, 45 minutes to get to her church. So,
Have you ever tried to get off the phone with an Italian woman?
no,
It's like, Ma,
I can
Ma,
imagine.
Ma, I gotta go. Ma, I gotta go.
Yeah, right. Should talk your ear off. Yeah,
Right. So I did want to mention we did air this interview a few days ago on Tuesday on my channel and on Joe's channel. However, my internet was sucking very badly. So we're going to do something a little different today. I've already uploaded the interview to the YouTubes, so it's not going to depend on my internet.
So speaking
of
internet sucking, me and Joe had an adventure on what was that, Wednesday
I
night?
did, man. We tried to play 23. I let you know about it. You must have been so busy you didn't even see the text.
Dude, I'm so
Yeah.
I'll get into that in a second.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. But this is the deal. We couldn't play more than 10 seconds before it booted us out of the servers, man. It pissed us off.
What?
We just ended up sharing each other's gameplay the rest of the night. But we tried the first, half an hour to get a match going?
Oh, yeah. No, the first, it was almost 45 minutes of the stream. We were trying to figure that stupid game out.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Ours weren't that bad. It was just fuzzy. So I'm hoping this time around it'll be much more clear. And we are going to be in the chat, folks, so we can answer questions in the chat. And we'll participate.
Yeah, we're going to be here the whole time, guys.
Yeah. And then it's about 40, I believe it's about 42, 43 minutes. So as soon as it's over, we're going to go straight into the break. And then we'll come back from the break, discuss the interview a little bit, and then get into the week's wrestling news. Does this sound good to you guys?
It sounds great to me,
sounds
man.
good to me.
All right. So I'm going to attempt to do this. Pray for me. Okay.
I'm praying. You can do it, bro. I can't believe you didn't start with her little snippet. Watch Dork Side of the Ring.
Damn it.
You forgot to do that, man.
It's called Cold Open, man.
Yeah, you know, I should have done that.
But that's okay.
You know, I really should have. And I think if you guys can help me kill just a little bit of time.
Sure.
I might
I
be
excel
able,
at that.
to make that. I might be able to make that happen. So let's just. Okay, here we go. I think I got it.
This is Nikki Victory. Make sure to check out Dork Side of the Ring every Sunday at 11 Pacific.
Yeah, that was good, huh?
She is just the cutest thing in the entire world. She really
All right. So without any further ado, hopefully, let me know, guys, if it doesn't work, but it should work just fine. Without any further ado, here we go.
Sound. You're missing sound. Sound. No sound.
No sound.
sound.
Damn it. I did the sound share thing.
Well, do it
Technical difficulties.
again. Yes,
Ladies
technical
and gentlemen,
difficulties. It's going to be fine, bro.
Let me try this again. So we're going to do the screen share.
The video's much better, though. The video's much better.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the problem. Last time we had the sound on point. The
Yeah.
video was for crap. Yeah.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, there will be this thing where audio and video
merge.
coincide.
Yeah, I know what it is. They changed
collide.
this stupid thing. I have to use it in the
Okay,
in this browser.
And by the way, whoever's running the show in the background, I'm putting the links in the private chat.
Okay. So okay, your browser has blocked your screen.
You got plenty of time.
You guys can see me, right? That's
Yeah,
all I care about.
see you
at this
just
point.
fine.
Okay. All right. So blow that up. Ooh, that was loud. All right. All right. So I'm gonna attempt this one more time. Hopefully this works. Share screen, share tab audio, and here we go. Hey everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of Dork Side of the Ring. With me, as always, is my co-host Joe's Atmosphere. Hey Joe,
How you doing, buddy?
I'm
Good to
doing
see you.
fantastic. Thanks to Joe, and I'll let him tell a little bit about how we were able to make this happen. We have with us today a professional wrestler, Nikki Victory. She hails from, I got to do my wrestling voice, from Cincinnati, Ohio. Standing in at 5'3" and 130 pounds, Nikki Victory.
That's pretty good.
Nikki has wrestled for places in WWF, kind of her home base, Anarchy Wrestling, New Wave Wrestling, and she's even had several matches for AEW, where she has wrestled the likes of Serena Deeb, Sarah Hogan, Kylie Ray, Anna JAS, and coming up this summer, she takes on one of Joe's favorites, Tessa Blanchard. So
Toughest chicken wrestling today, pal. That's
without
right.
any further ado, everybody please welcome Nikki.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
It's great to have you here. So Joe, kind of explain how we got how this happened, if you don't mind.
Yeah, as most smaller promotion wrestlers go, she has a real job. The dream job is the wrestling, but the job that pays the bills is actually one that put her in touch with my brother. They work together quite a bit. My brother works in Dallas. I'm not going to say exactly where he works, but she apparently is part of the supply chain for him. So, do I have that right, Nikki?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he actually, told me he knew we were doing this show, and he said, "Hey, man, I'll put you in touch if you want to interview her." And I was like, "Yeah, cool, let's do it." And I believe you told my brother that your husband wrestles too, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's actually how we met.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
What's his ring name? What's he do?
He was Josh Adams, and now he's a bad guy. So it's just Joshua now. And his little saying is that he was made for this. So he actually started wrestling. He's got a year on me. But when, I started, we were both baby faces. So we did a little bit of tagging together, which was really fun. And then he turned heel eventually. We got to actually feud together, which was really fun. I think he enjoyed it more than he probably should have.
Well, I hate to interrupt. What do you mean feud? Like you guys were wrestling each other?
Mm-hmm. We had a really long storyline together at our home promotion. He got to put pizza in my face.
So like a full-blown intergender match, not a mixed tag match.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
do
One
a
of
lot
the
of-
best ones I watched recently was Will Ospreay and his girlfriend, B. Priestley.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
for sure.
I actually
Yeah.
do a lot of intergender. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. But
Oh, wow.
yeah, we feuded for a couple of months, and then he had a tag partner who, they were both heels, and Josh is just degrading me, and his partner turned on him to stand up for me. So then he and I tagged for a little bit against Josh and whoever he was tagging with at the time.
Hmm.
And actually, just a couple months ago, probably like 2 months ago, I turned my back on his partner who stuck his neck out for me, and now I joined Joshua. Now we are the power couple of
Now
the
you,
WWF.
yeah, there you go.
See that
That's
there's a lot of
what I
room
like.
for fun heelish tactics,
Yes.
which
There you
And
go.
I'm
are
kind of
always
starting
fun.
to find my groove. Like before, it was just everyone was like, "Oh, like how do you want us to announce you?" And I'm like, "Oh, just Nikki Victory. Like that's all I have." So now we're gaining some confidence, and now it's next level Nikki Victory.
There
So
you go.
got a little
Yeah.
spice
Let's
to it.
look, Nikki, you can do it. Let me tell you something. A lot of the guys that are heels are the nicest people on the planet. They really
Yeah.
are, man. Yeah.
It's so hard to like tune into it, but I'm getting there.
I hear you.
I think once you get there, you'll really have a lot of fun with it, because that's what everybody I've talked to that's wrestled for any amount of time. This is like, gosh, there's Austin Aries, Rob Van Dam, Booker T. Oh gosh, I'm blanking, but the ones I've met in person out here in Vegas, they always, because I always ask that question, because I think I would be such a good, because I'm just naturally a sarcastic asshole, so I just like
Yeah.
I think I would be really
Same
good
with my
at it.
husband, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, because it just man, that just seems like that would be so much fun. It's like
Mhm.
just
Oh,
being a bad guy. The one time I ever got to do anything, I was doing it was at the Level Up. It was which also does cosplay. So they have anime, cosplay, comic books, wrestling. It's a huge thing at the
Mhm.
Las Vegas Convention Center. And I was there with a cosplay group as Mankind, and the promoter from
Oh my God. Yeah.
from
He showed me this
FSW.
video. It was
Yeah,
great. Yeah.
he was like, he came to me and he was like, "Hey, are you with?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Man, you look great. Would you want to do something?" I was like, "Would I?" Like, yeah. So but you know what? I was only in the ring 3 minutes, and I got to squash I just pulled. I did my little shtick. I did mostly talking. I pulled out Socko, and
that's
then
awesome.
this guy came out with like a Final Fantasy sword, and he said, "All you got to do is put that sock in my mouth, and I'll do the rest for you." And I was like, "Okay." So I did, and he was just
And
like
he
flailing
was
around,
flopping around like
and
a
he
fish.
jumps,
And,
and
Yep.
he made me look like $1 million. It was
Yeah,
so
he did.
awesome. And then
Oh,
when I got out of there, and again, I'm like, that's 3 minutes, and I'm only probably being physical for 60 seconds of it.
Yeah.
I was gassed for like an hour afterwards. I could not believe it.
That's
So
that
mad
adrenaline,
respect.
Bubba. That's
Yeah,
that
man. So
adrenaline. Yeah.
mad respect to all you guys and girls who do this, because I couldn't imagine. And you had a 22-minute match. I could not imagine that. Oh my God, I'd be
the
blown out.
adrenaline, yeah.
Yeah.
If it weren't for the adrenaline, I'd be screwed. Because like I said, I ran. I would go run 8 miles a day, and I was like, I can do this. Like that's nothing. No.
Yeah.
Ring cardio is so different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
That is what I've
and
heard.
you know, hey, people. What I hate the most is when people say it's fake. I'm like, no, it's not fake. Let me tell you, it's
Nuts.
scripted.
Right
There's a
nuts.
difference. They're actually throwing each other around. They're actually getting smashed.
I'm actually
You
in
know.
agreement with Chris Jericho that this really ought to be some. So Chris Jericho says it should be an Olympic level event because it's performance art.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if it should be that, but it should be. There should be some type of recognition. Like I've always said, for the Oscars, there should be a category for stunt. For the stuntmen
Yes,
and
for
women.
stuntmen, there should be. Yes,
And there
I
should
agree with
be.
that
I
wholeheartedly.
mean,
Yep.
because it's not like you're on a trampoline. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Mhm.
I mean, there's a little bit of give, at least on the one that I was on, but it's like, there's it's just wood under there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's
Like
made to
That's
make
little bit of
sound.
mat.
Yeah,
It's
that's my
supposed
big
to make
pet
sound.
peeve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm like, well, if it's fake, come here and let me hit you with this chair. Tell me
Yeah.
Yeah,
what
right.
See how you
Yeah,
feel.
yeah.
Yeah.
But my
Yeah.
favorite thing is when we have friends and family come and they're like, oh, like you guys are actually hitting each other. And I'm like,
Well, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
All
Well,
right.
Nikki, thank you so much for sharing that story about you and your husband with us. That sounds like a lot of fun. Because I tell you what, Joe's met my my special lady friend. Sometimes I wish I could just potato her right in the face and get away
See,
with it.
that's the thing. It's also like relationship therapy.
Yeah, there you go.
You're
There
loving
you
each
go.
other just for the time you're in the ring, and then no more.
Yeah, that's okay.
Get it all out while you can.
Yeah, right. Well, Nikki, if you don't mind, before we just start chopping it up about wrestling and asking a little bit about your background and things like that, tell us a little bit about yourself. And what you got going on, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, so I've been wrestling for almost 6 years. It'll be 6 years this June. It's getting pretty close. It doesn't feel that long though. It's crazy. But yeah, I've watched it ever since I was little. And when I graduated high school, one of my old high school friends, we both we both grew up loving it. And once we hit high school, we kind of started getting made fun of for liking wrestling. It wasn't really cool anymore.
Man.
But he and I always still liked it. And when I graduated, he was like, "Hey, like there's this place here in Cincinnati where you can actually train and learn to wrestle." And I was just kind of mind blown by that because when I was younger, I didn't know that there was even an indie scene. I didn't know what indie wrestling was. I thought there was, Impact, WWE, and that was about it. So I went in to go train, and I haven't stopped since. It was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Right on. I'm actually curious, what got you into wrestling as a fan?
My family always watched it, and I just started
Uh-huh.
watching it with them and never really stopped.
So it's kind of back as far back as you can remember, just something you kind of grew up with.
Oh yeah, as young
Who
as
were
I was.
who were So my favorite wrestler is, Bret the Hitman Hart, my favorite of all time. Joe's favorite is, I believe, Macho Man
The
Randy
Macho Man
Savage.
Randy Savage, baby. That's my
Who,
guy.
who would you say, your number one favorite wrestler is?
It's tough to pick one, but when I was younger, I was really into Shawn Michaels and Jeff Hardy.
Oh God, Shawn
man.
Michaels. Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
hey, you guys have fun. I'll
Right,
see you.
he's
I'm
leaving
just kidding.
now.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Bret Hart.
Bret
Hart
Hart,
can
you
forgive
know.
Shawn Michaels. I guess I have to one of
I'm
these.
sure she knows that story about the
As
Montreal
well.
screw job, but
Oh
Um,
yeah.
mhm.
So you were a fan, and which is how a lot of wrestlers start. As fans. Did you ever go to any live shows? Did you have any kind of like an initial experience where you're like? Because I found for me that even though I watched it on TV, it wasn't until I saw it live that I just was like hooked. Because
Mhm.
everybody's a part of the show, and I'm not a spring chicken. So I mean, my era's, you know, the mid, like lower to mid '80s to, the end of the Attitude Era, and I pretty much stopped watching wrestling for about at least a decade after the WWF, then WWE now, bought WCW, because it just wasn't the same, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so what's like? Do you have like a live experience? I have a couple, but we're here to interview you. These guys hear me talk all the time.
So I did go to like a couple live events when I was younger, not many though. We usually just watch on TV.
Mhm.
But when I went, like it was really cool. It's a lot different than watching from home for sure. But I don't know, like back then I really just enjoyed getting to watch it from my couch. And I
Right
got
on.
so invested in all the storylines and all of that. But yeah,
So
I
now,
only went to a handful of live shows.
right on. So unfortunately, I'm the Bret Hart camp. You're in the HBK camp. Who's your favorite female wrestler?
Today, uh, so like on the indie scenes, definitely Kylie. I definitely look
Mhm.
up to her a lot. If
She's
we're
got a lot of
talking,
fans out there. She
oh
really
yeah,
does. Yep. Mhm.
and if we're talking like if we're talking WWE, I'd probably have to say Charlotte. She's the total package, I think.
Well, how about I guess I need to get better at asking questions. Like when you were there any female? Because I know they were far and few between back in
Oh, when I
like,
was younger,
yeah, like
Mhm.
was there someone you looked at that was like, oh, I can do this too,
probably Mickey James.
There
Mickey
you go.
James.
There
Yeah.
you go. Now we can agree on somebody great
Oh
right
yeah,
there.
we
Love her to death. Yes,
definitely
absolutely.
love.
Big fan of her husband too, Nick Aldis.
Yeah,
Can't wait to see where he lands.
For
yeah.
He's been
sure.
in limbo since last year, since he lost the NWA belt, but I'm looking forward to seeing him again, no doubt.
Right on. Well, I'll tag Joe here in a second. I've got kind of just the run of the mill basic questions, but um, who, like, your first match, can you kind of put me like in your head, like, because you have practices or whatever they're called, I'm sorry, at a wrestling school or performance type center, but it's got to be different wrestling in front of fans. Like,
Yes.
tell me about that first time you ever did that and what that was like.
I don't know if I've ever been that nervous. Like, I mean, just any kind of nerve you can feel was there. I felt like I was gonna puke. I felt like I was gonna pass out, but I was
Mhm.
also just so excited. Like, you can train all that you want, but nothing's ever gonna prepare you for that moment you walk through the curtain and you have all these faces, just all these eyes on you. Like, you can train all you want. It's never gonna be the same. And I remember like pacing, and I'm just like, when is it my turn? Like, I want to get this over with. I can't deal with it. And as soon as you walk through that curtain, all those nerves go away. And all of that adrenaline just like, it's so hard to explain. It really is. But I didn't realize when I got into wrestling how much your personality would have to come through and shine, and how much it relied on talking and really finding like your character and like turning yourself up 100 notches, like I was always very reserved, and I was always the quiet kid in the corner, but I was like, I want to wrestle, like I want to do this. And then when I started training, I'm like, oh shoot, like this is really different than it is when you watch from home, and like what you see on TV, you really don't get to see everything that goes into it. So it was a
Mhm.
lot of breaking my shell for sure.
Yeah.
So
How do the let me ask you this, since we're on the training thing, how do the people that taught you how to wrestle, how do they feel you're doing today? I'm sure you keep in touch with them.
Oh,
How
for
do they
sure.
yeah, how are they
So
feeling about how you're doing?
when I first started, no one thought I was gonna make it.
Mhm.
Just being honest, they were like, "Yeah, she's not gonna last," because I was
so
barely
is that 130 pounds true, or is that like soaking wet, or what
now.
is that?
Now it's true. When I
Okay.
started, I was barely 110, barely, because I
Wow.
Wow.
I had run cross country and track when I was in high school.
Oh, you were a skinny thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
I got you.
no
Mhm.
muscle, anything. So taking all those bumps and hits in the ring was really taking a toll on my body, and I was just beat up. And I'm like, if I don't gain weight and put some muscle on me, like I can't do this. There's no way.
What was that first bump like?
My gosh, it hurt so bad.
So,
It
so
hurt so bad.
Was it a suplex or what? What was
what
it?
So when you first start, they get you in there and they just let you fall
you
back and
just
take your own
you
first
Right.
back
back
you,
bump.
you
Yeah, you're
back
doing the
bump
hand slap, right?
Yep.
to
To
You
start.
absorb
gotta
the blow. Yep.
figure
Yeah.
out how to make it hurt as little as possible,
Mhm.
and then just build from there.
Mhm.
So if you had to say you have a like a style, I mean, because you've actually mentioned quite a few high flyers as being some of your you got HBK, you got Charlotte, Kylie Ray. Is that your style as well, would you say, or do you do a
So
lot of like top rope moves?
yes, honestly, I love doing a little bit of everything. Like when I first started, I used to hate the chain wrestling, like the
Mhm.
holds and reversing the holds and all of that. Hated it. Now I love it. It's one of my favorite things. When I first started, I hated strikes, but now I love that, and I love the high flying too. So the mat wrestling, the striking, the jumping off the ropes, I love to do all of that.
Right
Yep.
on. So do you earlier I was asking about your first match and how you felt going into it. How was it when, like, whether you won or lost, it doesn't really matter, but at the end of it, how did you feel at the end of your very first match? Do you remember? Is that something that's stuck with you?
Oh yeah, for sure. So, like I said, you get all that adrenaline, and as soon as you walk back through the curtain, it all just goes away. You're like, oh
Is it
my gosh, like I
Oh,
like
just,
an
I just
adrenaline
did
dump?
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, like all these people were cheering, they were getting behind me, they were like supporting me through the whole match, and you're just like, it's crazy that when you're in those shoes, it's like it's crazy that I can do that, and it's crazy that the fans believe me. It's just like kind of that realization, like, holy crap, I just did that.
Right
'Cause
on.
you don't realize it in the moment at all.
Were you a baby face heel? What are you primarily?
Babyface. I actually have been babyface the whole time until honestly 2 or 3 months ago.
Oh,
Really?
okay.
Yes.
There's one video that I watched in I guess it was Sam Laterna. Is that how I say it?
Yeah.
You're wearing the Stars and Stripes, man. That's awesome stuff.
Oh
That-
yeah.
All American. I
Yeah.
dig it. Yep.
Thank
Mhm.
you.
It's very cool.
What do you? I'm just curious. What do you like more, being a heel or being a face?
Honestly, being a heel is really fun, but I'm just genuinely a super nice and bubbly person, and it's really hard to like pull the jerk out of me and not feel bad about it.
Right.
That's fun.
Like,
No, well, I would love to be like a chicken shit heel manager. I think I could pull that
yes.
off. The little bit of time, and
His
like,
favorite guy in the world is Jim Cornette.
that's not
it-
true. That's not.
Come
true.
on, man.
I love it. I love it.
It's because I listen to his podcast. And
Hey,
happen
I
to
love
agree
it.
with some of
There's
his
nothing to
points.
be ashamed of, dude. I listen to him every week. I love the guy.
Yes.
I just don't agree with everything he says.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, so you've been doing this since 2017.
Mhm.
Now, is that when you start the training, or is that when you started wrestling, like in front of people, or both?
That's when I started training.
Okay.
Where I train, I don't know if you've heard of him. His name is Roger Ruffin. He trains, he runs it, he trains all of us.
Oh,
And
okay.
he refed for WWE for a while.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he's very knowledgeable. He knows everything there is to know about the wrestling business, and he's very serious about like his trainees. Like he's not gonna put you on a show and have a match before you're ready. So I didn't have my first match until I was 8 months in. So
Okay.
just 8 months of training and learning and all the ins and outs.
Right on. So, Cincinnati, Ohio is a pretty, I mean, like, gosh, you got Moxley is from there, I
Yep.
believe. You have, um, wasn't wasn't Brian
I
Pillman
think
from
Brian
there?
Pillman's from there too.
You
Yep.
know, Seth Rollins from there? I mean, I feel like that's a rich area
Carl
of the country.
Anderson,
Yeah.
he,
Okay.
Carl
he trained
Anderson.
at the same school that I'm at, and then the Monster Abyss.
Okay.
Oh
From
yeah.
Impact.
Yeah, he used to run with
I love
Aldous,
it.
man. What was Aldous' name in Impact when he was that guy was his enforcer too, man. I think his name was Magnum or something like that. I can't remember exactly
Yeah.
what his name was in
Yeah,
Impact, but
He's awesome.
yeah, Nick Aldis had the Monster Abyss right there next to him every time he did something. It was awesome. Yeah, love
So-
that guy.
So I'm curious as to how it's worked for you, because you've primarily, you're on the indie scene right now, and I'm a huge fan of Booker T. He's got his own independent promotion out in Houston, Texas, called Reality of Wrestling.
Mhm.
And I've had and he's coming back to Vegas soon, so we're gonna, like, he's done one show out here with his guys that I was at. I used to go to Impact tapings at Sam's Town, just because of my, you know, when you're friends with Rob Van Dam, and he was in the promotion at the time, it's like, hey buddy, can you get me in? And I'm in like a few. It's really funny because there are a couple episodes of Impact where I'm like right in the front row, and it was funny because Rob was like, just go batshit crazy. So I was all like, just like yelling at people and just being like
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
that'll
think
get the camera on you, buddy.
yeah,
no
it was
doubt.
a ton of fun. But you've wrestled, I believe, 6 matches for AEW, correct?
Mhm. Yeah.
So how does one get on their radar if you're in this independent scene that you're in?
So they, depending on where they're at that week, city-wise,
Mhm.
they just kind of go from a local talent pool and bring you in for extra work based on whatever they need that week, whether it be a match or, whether they need
So-
you backstage for something. It just kind of
Do you have like an agent, or is this something you're doing on your own? Like you're getting your own, kind of like voice actors. I've done voice acting in the past and worked with lots of voice actors, and most of them don't have an agent. They're doing all these calls themselves. They're going to different websites and message boards and things like that. Is it
Mhm.
kind of the same for you, or does the school that you
Yeah.
go to, or your trainer,
It's a little bit of both. When I first started out, I relied on them a lot.
Mhm.
And then once I started getting out there, you kind of just network. Like if you're at a show or a booking and you meet someone from another state and they're like, oh, like we'd love to have you. Like, why don't you reach out to this person? And you just kind of network from there and meet new people who can get you in different places.
Right on. So, are you doing any of the convention scenes? I mean, I know out here in Vegas, some of the conventions, they actually have, there's wrestling there. That's where I was actually able to to cross the bucket list item off for me was at a convention out here in Vegas. So is that something you participate in as well?
I
Conventions?
haven't, but I would definitely like to, but nothing I've done yet.
Yeah, when you were saying networking, I think that would be a really good place
Oh, for
a
sure.
thing to check out, especially, God, especially out here in Vegas. The one that I've been to, Level Up Expo. We actually just had it a couple months ago, but it's usually like every February or March in that area every year, and they've been doing it for I don't know 8, 9, 10 years, something like that. But it's really cool because it's not just wrestling, and that's a big part of the Dork Side of the Ring is we're into like he's a comic book. Or he's an artist. He's working on his first comic book. I'm a graphic designer. We're both in the nerdy stuff. I do a Wednesday show, Wednesday Star Wars show. I do a Thursday Star Trek show. So we're into that dorky, nerdy geek culture.
Yeah, the one we have here is called GeekCon, and like I said, that the last one we had was Darby Allin. Who else would they have at that thing? That was a wrestler, Ronda. I can't remember, but yeah, they've always got wrestlers there. I think.
Yeah.
Didn't I send you a link saying that they had an ECW guy coming this year? I think I sent you guys
Possibly.
that.
I know that ToyCon, like I got to meet, Sting. I've got to meet Mick Foley. I mean, living in Vegas is pretty cool because like once you kind of get into into that scene or whatever, you get a lot of opportunities to meet people. I mean, heck, you can just go to the Nerd Bar downtown on Fremont Street, and you're going to run into at least one wrestler there. I've met Sabu there.
I just remembered it was Danhausen. That was the other wrestler from AEW that showed up. Yeah.
He's funny.
So with this, being on the independent scene and also, like Joe mentioned that, you have an actual day job because we've all heard the stories about how difficult it is to break into the business. But when you've had the opportunity to wrestle, you said I believe your first one was with Anna JAS in AEW.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about what led up to that? Obviously, she had to be the heel, and you would be what they consider, I guess, enhancement talent, like somebody's already in the ring and they get to make their entrance. But how did that all come about? How did that feel?
Oh my gosh.
Because that's your first time in front of like
probably
that
the
many
biggest
people.
crowd you ever were
Yes.
exposed to, huh? Yeah.
Definitely the biggest crowd, and that's what I was most nervous about. Just because it's a lot of pressure, like being on a stage that big, it's such a big arena. You look out and you can't even see the people at a certain point because it's just dark. Like it's so big, but you just know there's so many people out there watching you, and that's what made me the most nervous. I knew it would be a lot of exposure, so I really wanted to do good and look good and hopefully make a good impression. But
You must have done something right. They got you for
Well,
5 more matches.
Yeah.
Right?
So you also over there, Kiera Hogan was another AEW match, correct?
yep.
I'm sorry if I were more professional, I'd have it all written down in order. But do you remember the order of the matches and who you wrestled?
I know Anna was my first one.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say the second match, I think, was a tag match. I know it was with Ruby Soho and
Wow.
maybe Sky Blue, I believe. And then I had a singles match with Serena Deeb.
Yes.
And then I actually had a second match back with Anna Jay. And I also got to do a tag match with Emmy and Emmy Sakura. That was fun.
Mm-hmm. The Ruby Soho match, I take it you were on the opposing team of those two.
Yes.
Okay. Was this before or after her heel turn? I'm just curious.
That was before.
Okay. So did you have to try to be a bad guy or did it not really matter?
I tried. I tried.
How much did you get to interact with the AEW talent when you were doing these shows?
We're back there all day, so we had the whole day really just to kind of hang out.
Did you get to pick their brains a little bit?
Sometimes it just depended on the day. Sometimes everyone was really busy, but it just kind of depended.
Yeah. Was there anyone in particular that just was extra nice or maybe went out of their way to just kind of make you feel like hey, I know you're just enhancement talent, but like, blah, blah, blah? Or was everybody kind of in their own zone? And if you had any negative experiences, don't feel like you have to share them, but if you wanted
Right.
to.
The people that kind of went out of their way to just even say hi or talk to me or anything, CM Punk was very nice.
Awesome.
Dustin, very nice.
Dustin Rhodes. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
There you
I
of
go.
love
course.
him. He's
Mhm.
such a good guy.
See,
And then Orange
those
Cassidy, he was nice.
Orange
as well.
Cassidy.
Orange
Okay.
Cassidy. Oh man.
Those first two had something in common, and that's they're kind of the well, let's just say what it is, the older generation, I guess, of
Yeah, they are.
performers
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
They're
And they're not exactly spring chickens anymore. So it's kind of cool. I've found like just in my small interactions, it's usually the veterans who are the coolest with people. But it's nice to hear that Orange Cassidy was cool too, because man, he's on
Very
quite
nice.
the run right now with that
Yeah, he is.
international championship.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Enjoy
Well,
him a lot.
yeah.
I mean, I've watched some of his barroom wrestling, and it's guys, you need to check it out. He's before he got to AEW, he was doing some crazy stuff in the ring. It was really cool. Yeah.
So I know when we were talking earlier, you said your favorite match was actually with Kylie Ray.
Yeah.
Now, in it's about, you sent the video. It's it's a 20-minute. That's a good.
That's a match.
That's a good amount of time to be wrestling.
Mhm.
So and I guess walk me through that, and I'll show. I don't know if what I can show without getting copyright claimed, because the wrestling is really strict about that kind of stuff a lot of the time. But if you can kind of like walk us through a 20-minute match, like, did you guys plan it out beforehand? Did you call it
Yeah,
in
what
the
kind of planning
ring?
goes into a match that long?
Yeah.
What did you get together and talk about beforehand?
Honestly, a lot of it, you just have to hope you guys have good ring chemistry, and luckily we really did. Like I was so nervous because I was like, I've looked up to her since I've started. Like
Mhm.
when we would, do training sessions or whatever, we would go watch matches and study. And I was always like, I gotta watch Kylie. Let me watch Kylie. Like I gotta study her matches. And it was always something that I was like, that's the goal. Like if I, even if I don't ever make it big time in wrestling, I want to wrestle Kylie. Like that's what I want. And not that I don't want to make it big time, but like
Yeah.
that was my dream. And
Mhm.
so I was at my home promotion, and it was our first all women's event that we had ever done. And all I knew was that I was going to be in the main event, and they didn't tell me anything else. And I'm like, okay, like, that's fine. I'm excited. And so honestly, I want to say it was just a couple weeks before they released the graphic and the poster, and I was like, holy crap. Like at first
Okay.
I was like, you guys are messing with me. Like there's no way this is real. And they're like, yeah, like she's coming. And so she lives in Chicago. And so she drove down for this match, which I thought was awesome. And we got to talk a little bit beforehand, and she was like, you know, she knew who I was, which I was like, that's insane. Like
That's cool.
me.
That's instant respect right there, because
Yeah.
she's watching people that are lower than her to see what's happening. Yeah.
Exactly. And a lot of people, like sometimes, like if you're you're making a name for yourself in wrestling, a lot of people get egos, which
Mhm.
everyone's got an ego, but sometimes they get out of hand. But she had none. No ego. Honestly, the sweetest person I have ever met in the wrestling business. Just so genuine. And so after I got to meet her, honestly, it calmed my nerves a little bit, but I'm still like, this has to be a good match. Like
Right.
I might only get to do this one time, so it's gotta be good, gotta deliver it.
Mhm.
So we connected in the ring. We had such good ring chemistry. Didn't feel like I wrestled for 22 minutes, but we did. And I mean, the crowd was hot the entire time. It was just so much fun.
So what was the story or the dynamic being told with that? Like was it two baby faces going at it with mutual respect kind of thing, and just putting on a 20-minute clinic type of thing? Or
So since it was, my hometown, obviously I'm going to be the crowd favorite there.
right?
But she's also a huge baby face. So we started it off two baby faces. It was a good back and forth wrestling match. And then she ended up getting a little angry and kind of took on the heel role from there and beat the crap out of me for a little bit, but ended with a handshake out of mutual respect, which was very fun.
So Joe does a segment on our show called State of the Apron, and that's where he gets to educate someone like myself, who's primarily a mainstream fan, who hasn't really gotten into many of the independent promotions. And so, Joe, um, I
Sir.
was wondering if you might like to do a State of the Apron interview segment real quick.
Sure, absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
because I feel like that would make sense.
That would make sense. Yes, the State of the Apron. Where the reason why I call it State of the Apron, Nikki, is because we all know the hardest thing to do, the hardest thing in the ring is the apron, and the hardest thing to do in wrestling is to get to the big show, right? So that's why I call it that. And I'm just wondering, being a young up and coming wrestler like yourself, you're taking those steps up the rung, up to, and you're working for one of the top two now on a regular basis. I mean, how far do you think you can go? How far do you think you can get? What are you feeling like these days?
Honestly, like I want to do it all. I really do. I want to go everywhere. I want to experience everything, but it's tough. It's so
Yeah.
tough nowadays to make it and get noticed and be in the right place at the right time with the right person. And so you just, it's tough. Like I get in my head a lot, but you just really have to
Mhm.
like keep your head down and just keep grinding and just put in the work because that's what gets you there anymore, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, some of these guys when they finally make it, they're really, they're middle aged, even up into their 40s sometimes when they're first starting out. So,
And that's why I try to
I
not
think,
beat myself up because I am still young. So,
Mhm.
you know, I've got
Yeah,
time.
yep. And I'm glad to hear that you packed on some weight because it's true. When you're taking those bumps in the ring, if you don't pack on some kind of cushion to absorb that, it's really going to hurt you down the road. I mean,
Yeah, 100%.
But let me ask you this: you've got a big match coming up with probably my favorite female wrestler today, and a lot of people haven't seen her. I guess the biggest exposure she's had was on Impact, but when I first saw her, she had, in my opinion, the best match in the very first Mae Young Classic against Kyrie Sane. It was in the first round, and Kyrie Sane ended up winning the whole thing. And but her match with Tessa Blanchard, the girl you're going to take on in June, was the best thing in the whole show, if you ask me. Have you been able to talk to her yet? And what are you looking forward to in that particular show?
So I've only met her once. It was actually my first year in the wrestling.
Mhm.
I got to go to a seminar. I don't know if you guys have heard of Rise. They're in Chicago. They don't run anymore, but it was an all women's promotion.
Mhm.
And they ran seminars. I think that one that year was with Mercedes Martinez.
Okay.
So that was really fun. I got to be a part of that. And then they chose a handful of people to be on their show later that night. So luckily I was chosen. So I got to be in the locker room with her a little bit. I
Mhm.
didn't really get to talk to her too much. I was still very new. So I was just trying to,
Mhm.
lay low, do what I needed to do.
Mhm.
I was also very nervous. But
Yeah.
she had a 30-minute Ironman match that night with Mercedes, which was
Wow.
phenomenal. Very
Mhm.
good. But yeah, I'm excited. She's very good. So I'm gonna have
Yeah, yeah,
to
you're gonna
elevate
have your
myself. Yeah,
you're gonna have your work cut out for you.
have to keep up.
I'm not very familiar with Tessa Blanchard, but I did meet her once, and I got to see her wrestle. This was shortly before she was wrestling men, so but she wasn't yet the champion, so it was right
That's
before
how
that.
strong she is, boys and girls.
Yeah,
If you've never
yeah,
seen this chick, she's Tully Blanchard's daughter, and
China vibes, real
wow,
China vibes,
yeah, a short version of China. She's
and
tough. Yeah.
but after this was at an Impact taping at Samstown, and the one I went to, I don't know how they always do it, but they tape two episodes like back to back. And they usually do it. They do four shows in a week, like and they do two back to back. So they have a month's worth of tape. And after they, when they wrap, all the wrestlers, do their thing, and then there was a bar we got to go to. And because I was a guest of one of the professional wrestlers, I got to go up there. I got to hang out with Tommy Dreamer and have like an actual conversation, with Tommy Dreamer. It was really cool.
How cool is that? Yeah.
But the girl I was dating at the time had never ever watched wrestling, but was completely enamored with Tessa Blanchard, and totally. And I can't tell you, like, it almost started a fight because she didn't want to go with me, kind of thing.
Oh
And she
no.
goes, has a great time. Then we're like hanging out with everybody, and she's drinking, and I would have never guessed in a million years she would fangirl like she did. It was borderline embarrassing, but it was cool. But Tessa was so gracious, and she was we'll just say my friend at the time was just saying how inspiring it was seeing her stand up to the men. And she actually she won one of the matches, but had lost another one because this dude cheated, like with another. There were like 3 dudes. It was really bizarre. I don't know the storyline. I didn't watch any of that.
Impact is bizarre, period. So.
Yeah. So, but I couldn't. That's why I was really shocked when I heard the news. Because she was really, really sweet to me and to her the entire time, when it would have been really easy to be like, what do you like,
Right.
Yeah.
because we were, it wasn't supposed to be any fans in there. So that's why I was,
Okay.
it's just
Yeah.
supposed to be the friends or family type people or whatever. But so yeah, tell us a little bit more, like, where's this going to be? This match, when's it going to be? And I'll throw up a graphic so people can also take a look at it.
Yeah, it's going to be with Pro Wrestling Element in Huntington, West Virginia. It's a Friday night, and it's also my debut with that promotion. I've never been here before, so I'm very excited.
Oh wow!
Wow,
Debuting
talking
against
about
Tessa.
networking,
More
you're going to see
pressure.
Yeah.
a whole bunch more people. Man,
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
awesome. Yeah, like
Well,
that.
That's really exciting. Is there anything else you want to promote or mention before we get into like your personal links and social media? Like, are you on Pro Wrestling Tees, for example?
I am. I just opened
Ooh.
a shop like within the month. That's funny you mentioned that.
Oh, good deal. Well, we'll be sure to put that link in the description.
Absolutely, because I want it.
Yeah.
I got to get me a Nikki Victory shirt, no
There
doubt.
you go.
Gotta have
Right
it.
on.
We've
Yes,
got good Nikki shirts and bad Nikki shirts, so you got a little
Oh.
variety.
Oh,
I want
right
the
on.
All-American girl. That's
There we
what
go.
I want the one that. Well, when you see the video, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's the one I want.
I've always leaned toward I don't know why, but with the women, for whatever reason, I always liked the heels better.
Really?
Like I loved it, like with Trish when she like first turned on Lita back. This is probably before you were born. I'm really dating myself here, but that I just loved it. I ate it up.
You mean what she did to Becky this week? Yeah,
Well, that too. I mean,
Yeah.
hey man, like life is
that's your
cyclical,
stick,
isn't
Yeah.
it? It's kind of, and then Charlotte is best as a heel, in my opinion.
She should never be a baby face. This
Yeah.
last run, they tried to make her a baby face, and it just didn't work. Oh,
Well,
God.
but she's just so damn talented.
Yeah,
Like,
she is.
that would be.
It's
I bet you
sickening
that
how
would. You were
much
talking
she
about a dream match. That I'm sure that would be a dream match for you.
Oh my gosh,
as-
yeah. Talk about
Mhm.
nerve. Ugh.
Yep.
So, well, yeah. If are there any other events coming up you want to promote, or any signings, or if not, like, let people know where they can find you on the socials.
So most of the time I am at my home promotion here in Cincinnati. I think we already mentioned at the Northern Wrestling Federation.
Mhm.
Mhm.
They run weekly, which is really cool.
Well, Nikki, thank you so much for giving us some of your time today. And if you would, let people know where they can follow you, because I know as nowadays it's crazy. A lot of wrestling storylines are continued and even born from social
Shoot,
media.
AEW came from a friggin' YouTube show.
Yeah.
That's basically what half of it was, being the elite. Those
Yeah.
guys doing a weekly YouTube show. You should think about doing that. Really.
That is an idea.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm on Facebook, just Nikki Victory, and then Instagram and Twitter, it's Nikki Victory _ Nikki with
Mhm.
2 Ks. KKI.
Right on. Well, Nikki, thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to following your career.
Thank you for having me. It was nice meeting you guys.
Thanks a lot
Likewise.
for coming. We appreciate you, Nikki. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So that was the interview with Nikki Victory. Johnny, that was your first. Oh, Johnny's asleep, so I'm gonna let. Oh, okay.
No.
All right. So Johnny, that was your first time, hopefully viewing. I don't know if you were joking, if that was acting or not.
No. It was it was a long night last night.
No, for sure.
No.
So well, that was our Nikki Victory interview. Joe, again, say something. I don't know if your mic's working yet.
It's
There?
working.
Okay,
working
good.
just fine.
So
I was
that
just
was our
showing off her
interview.
T-shirt, man.
Yeah. I tried to drop all the links and during the chat for all the various things. So be sure to support Nikki however you can. Check her out. She was super cool. She might even, it's not 100%, so I don't want to jinx it, but she might even join us one of these days on a Sunday.
Yeah,
as panelist.
guys, what it is she told me that usually doing a show on Saturday somewhere, and Sunday's usually a travel day. So if she has a Sunday off, she said she'd join us. She really liked hanging out with us.
I might be able to get her.
And I didn't get this all from her. I got it from my brother. She told my brother all this stuff. So
cool, man.
She was raving about us. Yeah. So
maybe I can talk to the Booker man over at FSW and see if we can fly her in for a weekend.
Hey, man. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen, because she hasn't brought that up in the interview. She hasn't been to Vegas.
Yep.
And I really hate that the video sucked on the other one. She did a live intro with us on Tuesday. I encourage everybody to check out either my channel or Joe's channel, who's just celebrated reaching the 300 subscriber milestone mark.
Yep.
I'm still
Thank you all for the support. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm a pissant. I'm around 120, but check it out on either of the channels.
But you're getting there. You spent most of your time when you stared being guests on other shows.
I know.
Not conducive to building your own channel, brother.
I know. It's been fun though. So if you go to either one of our channels, the feed up until the interview you all just watched, that was live on Tuesday, and it looks fine. That feed looks fine for whatever reason. When I tried to play that video, I just played for you guys on our channel. It was
internet connection. That's what it was.
Man. It was.
But the audio's fine, guys.
But
you definitely want to go check out what we did on Tuesday night. I think
we had about 10 or 15.
I want to say it was about 15 minutes.
About 15 minutes.
She has a long commute in the mornings, and she had to go to bed. Right, as you saw, it was like 40 minutes, and she couldn't stay up that late. So she was on at the beginning with us for a few minutes, and we covered some other stuff.
But she was just great. And I tell you what, there's some stuff I cut out just because we did that been about a month now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Just around a month since we recorded that, and there was a good 5 minutes where she was promoting stuff that unfortunately had already happened in the interim. So I cut that out, but she was a joy to talk to. I really do want to help her become a better heel, though. I think I could help her with that.
Yeah, she said it in the interview. She's one of those shy people, but she really enjoys wrestling, and
she needs a chicken shit heel manager.
That's what I said. Yes. And I would make a great chicken shit heel manager. I'd be like,
I already am one.
Get that man a tennis racket, damn it. Get him a tennis racket.
That role. I don't know about a tennis racket. Maybe a golf club. I don't know.
Oh, I'd use a tennis racket in a second. Dude, anybody that knew me back in the day when I was a bartender, at every party I had a tennis racket. Most of the time the party was at my house, and I'd be air guitaring with it all night fucking long. That's
my personal go-to, I actually pulled out a hockey stick.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
you can air guitar to that too, man.
Yeah, you can.
No doubt.
Yeah, that's more my style. A hockey stick, a golf club, something like that. Something I can actually.
Yeah. Well, I was the Broad Street Bully, so it's a hockey thing.
Are you guys' Golden Knights still in the?
Hell yeah,
Lord
man! We got a
Stanley's
game
Cup?
tonight at 7, baby.
That's
go
right,
Knights, go!
baby. Let's beat
go
them.
Knights, go! Go Knights, go! Go Knights, go! Oh yeah, I'm a diehard Golden Knights fan, man. Shit, I've been to so many.
It's my nephew's team too. He picked them right off the bat. As soon as they set that franchise up, he's like, "That's my team." Yep.
Yeah,
I moved to Las Vegas, and I arrived in town 3 months before the Golden Knights did.
Oh, right on.
Cool.
And so their arrival in the city coincided with my own.
So do you still root for the Flyers though, bro?
Oh, okay. Yes.
So
I was going to say, I know you're a Philly guy. So.
Oh yeah. No. I am a fan of both. It does help. It does help with my local love of the Golden Knights that one of their players and I have the same last name. So it made getting a jersey super easy.
It doesn't help so much anymore, and I'm actually I could really get heated about this. I know we got to take a break in 2 minutes, but I was a big Penguins fan.
Okay.
Screw you. Anyway, whatever. Mario Lemieux's the fucking man, dude. No, yeah. Mario Lemieux's
the only thing
man.
I could say good about Pittsburgh is they're one of the original 6. So you got to get.
And every year I sacrifice a coat to see that something bad happens to Sidney Crosby.
My buddy Jason Spencer got me into hockey. We used to play street hockey, and I eventually got into ice hockey, and we collected the cards and all that crap. And show that Nikki Victory shirt off. You can get yours right now.
People. Go get one
for $19.99 at the link. Just use promo code or code. You know what? I don't have a promo code. I'm not that cool. Never mind. That's a different website. But if you click the link in the description for the WWE shop, or that, yes, to hers, it'll take you there. You can buy it. But I do have a promo code for the WWE shop sponsor, since we're about to get into sponsors in like 30 seconds. Shop WWE. The link is in the description. If you use WWE34, the promo code WWE34, you will get free shipping on orders $34 or more. So, and with that, I think we're going to head into the break.
Out of nowhere.
Hi guys, this is Gary from Pop Culture Minefield here on KGRA, and we're leaving for our first break. I hope we survive.
Did you know 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated? If you struggle with focus, run low on energy, or when it's time to finally sleep, you simply can't, this can all be linked to dehydration, and Fuel Up has the answer. Our proprietary formula contains the finest cellular hydration with the strongest immune-enhancing natural ingredients. The Fuel Up system is made up of 3 different incredibly tasting varieties. Wake kickstarts your day with a jolt of caffeine. Play boosts focus while hydrating your cells. Rest not only helps you relax, but also rejuvenates your cells while you sleep. Here's what our clients have to say.
I really don't miss my coffee, and you can tell the difference.
So I'm going to take it for the energy. I'm going to take it for the play. I'm going to take it, all day.
And it works. That's the thing. It works. We love it.
Take the Fuel Up Challenge now, where we offer a Feel the Difference money-back guarantee. Fuel Up for life.
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Oh wow, we survived. Welcome back to the commercial break. Now for some more Pop Culture Minefield on KGRA.
Oh, and I had one more message that needed to be shared really quickly. So if I may, let's do this again.
Go, man.
All right.
Danny didn't even notice the quick change.
I did. I know.
All right. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a message from the President of the United States.
The big guy.
Dork Knight calls me Sleepy Joe. Well, Dork Knight, let me tell you, I'm going to drag your sorry ass back to Scranton and put you to sleep, motherfucker.
Who did that voiceover? That's awesome. He's great, man.
So my buddy, I do a show every Wednesday and Thursday with the Salty Trekker. Okay. And we've been doing these shows for a while now. And so it comes up whenever Joe Biden comes up, I always give him shit, because he's like, there's that video of him walking out of one of these things where I feel like he's got dementia. There's all kinds, there's just all kinds of stuff, fodder for,
Oh, the cannon fodder is rich. And
so
yes.
I call him Sleepy Joe quite a bit. And so about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Theory about the president last night. I was hanging out with a couple of buddies, and so like Joe Biden and I have the same birthday, and we were talking about like at least I know what my future is going to be like, because like I'm pretty sure
Funny,
like
you don't
30
look
years
that
ago
old,
Joe
bro.
Biden probably was like a lot like me, you know, because a lot of people I meet that have the same birthday as me have very similar temperaments and personalities. And then I'm like,
Daryl Harris asked a very pertinent question.
Well, hold on.
You had a dream about the president?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I had a conversation. I was at the
Oh,
bar.
okay. Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
so alcohol was involved, Daryl. That's what it is.
So, but we were talking about like, oh yeah, like maybe Joe Biden was a lot like Johnny back in like the day. And I'm like, what if he's still like, I actually don't think Joe Biden is stupid or has dementia or anything. I think Joe Biden's a pothead.
You know, that's an interesting theory.
I think Joe Biden is like a raging pothead, and he's not dumb or old. He's just
dude.
high.
He's old. First of all, he's old.
Well, he's very old. Yes.
He's old. He's Patrick Stewart old. Let's just get it straight.
Yes.
Let's understand that right now.
Be clear. Yes.
He's the same age as Patrick Stewart. Okay,
Yeah.
He's the oldest president we've ever had in the history of presidents in the history of the United States. And I don't want to get political. Only thing was, I thought that was a funny video.
It's great. That's why I was asking
Salty,
who did the voice. That's
okay. So that's what I was going to get to. So Salty used AI. It's him talking, but it changed it to Joe Biden's. That's why if you listen
that's
to
awesome.
Yeah, if when he says Scranton, it sounds kind of out of place because it's like that's the only part that you can tell it's AI is when he says Scranton, because he's like, I'm going to drag your ass back to Scranton. There's like a weird like kind of thing right there. Yeah,
you can't tell. You can't tell.
I guess anyway. So we're back from the break. We're having a little bit of fun. Before we get into this week's what happened in wrestling this week, did you two want to go over any other, with the Nikki Victory interview that we just finished up?
She's just a sweetheart. Go support what she's doing. If
I'm going to see if we can get her out here for AEW weekend to wrestle.
Hell yeah.
I got to talk to Joe DeFalco.
That would be nice.
Let's make it happen.
I believe.
See if he'll loosen the purse strings.
Where is the show going to be at that she's wrestling Tessa at?
T-Mobile. Oh, the show she's going to be wrestling Tessa at. That's in West Virginia. And
if you're in the West Virginia area, please support that show and go see it. I'm telling you, the girl is awesome.
Yeah, I can't find the link. Damn it.
That's right. The link is there. You've already put it up in the chat. It's in the chat, guys. You'll see.
Okay.
And I just tweeted it out on Twitter too. So.
And you know what? Actually, here it is. It's coming up now. It's coming through now, Con. Right. And before we get into the wrestling news, I found out right after our stream a week ago today that our good friends, or at least in my close personal friends, the Salty Nerds, were burgled. So I just put the link in the chat. I actually don't even know if the GoFundMe is still live. If it is, help them out. If it's not, even though they originally asked for 5,000, as time went on, then they were like, oh, they actually stole this other stuff, and then there was like 8,000, and then by the time they finished paying for like everything, it was over 10. So and then they got the fees. So like Chris Gore was saying, you guys should just set it at 10. Just like you always. And Kadish was really concerned. Like I don't want to be, I don't want it to seem like we're trying to benefit or profit from this. And I get that, but what happened to them was really shitty. They opened their doors
to somebody that had knew
all of the people
had been there.
So including me and Cece and I did a episode of this very show from their studio.
Yeah.
And every single person that came to CinemaCon who used their studio, the Salty Nerd podcast opened their doors up for free to welcome all these nerds. And I hate to say it, but somebody that had to, because they were very targeted, very specific with what they took, and it's a shame because if they're local, which they probably are, because they stole it on a random. It was the wee hours of last Sunday morning, which is why I didn't know about it when we were live that day or whatever.
Right.
So they probably would have let him use their studio for free. You know what I mean? So it's senseless. So
these
if you
are
guys
the kind of people it happens to, it's just
so.
But
so, anyways, I did want to mention that because I didn't give that a shout out last week, and technically it happened before the show. But I wake up and I start.
Know about it. That's fine.
Yeah, I wake up on Sunday and I start working on this in like as soon as like today I woke up. Now I did take 2 hours. Cece and I went out and had Mother's Day breakfast, which was nice. But I woke up at 4:30. I worked. She woke up at 6:30, and then I think we left at like 8:30, and I got back here at 10:30. You can ask these guys. I hopped on like right before the damn show started.
Yeah,
But
let me let you guys know this. I got an email from them because I did donate to the GoFundMe. And I got an email from them, and it was a really nice email thanking me for doing it. And they said, just like he said on I think Kadish was on Midnight's Edge.
He was on Midnight's Edge, yeah.
Monday.
Yeah.
And he said, look, if you give to the GoFundMe, if you're ever in the Vegas area, you can use our studio.
Use our studio for free. Yeah.
And he said, and to his credit, he said the same thing in the email. He said,
right on,
thanks,
man.
Thanks a lot. And,
you know what? You know what warmed my heart? My mother sent them a freaking check.
Yes.
Like an old school check. I could not believe that. I didn't know. I learned that from their live stream where they called I was like, wait a minute. Mom didn't tell me this. So, yeah. But
they need to frame it and put it up in the studio. That's what they need to
do. They really do. It was
and just to let you know, Penny, they will cash it, but there's a way you can actually shoot a picture of the check with your phone to cash it, and then they can take that and frame it and put it on the wall. Don't worry, they're gonna cash it.
If they haven't already, I'm sure they have. But I do hope I think that'd be cute if they framed it.
Yeah, they need to.
It's probably the only check anybody's ever gonna give.
Checks are such a dying breed. Don't worry, Penny. My mother still writes them too. I just that's a dying system right there. Wow.
So, oh man. All right. So I think I got all the housekeeping out of the way. You want to talk AEW or WWE first, guys?
I mean AEW. There's some interesting tidbits this week.
I didn't get to see AEW, so let him handle that part of the show.
Yeah. All right.
Well, this week's Dynamite was rather interesting. I think the big news is coming this week, where they're probably going to announce Collision. However, we can recall the milk cartons. We can take down the missing posters. Because backstage we had a Miro sighting.
sighting.
Yeah.
Miro, Thunder Rosa. Yep. They're rumored to be back for Collision.
Now I believe Thunder Rosa is still hurt.
Yes, that's what I read as well.
Tore up from the floor up. So I don't know how active she's going to be in the near future, but they were there to make appearances. They went into Tony Khan's office. Also, speaking of T-Mobile Arena, since you mentioned it earlier, they have just announced a second match for Double or Nothing.
Oh.
Now there are 2 matches announced for this pay-per-view. But it's official. We're going to have Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal versus FTR for the tag belts with special guest referee Mark Briscoe.
Mark Briscoe guest referee,
Which led to a rather interesting angle because Mark Briscoe is just trying to get both teams. He's boys with everybody. He's like, hey, let's have a drink and get along. He comes out there with a bottle of tequila. He's pouring shots for everybody. And what does that bastard Sanjay Dutt do? He spits the tequila right in Dax Harwood's face and blinds him. And in his panic, Dax winds up pile driving Mark Briscoe.
Oh.
Yeah,
man.
It was a very entertaining angle.
How do you accidentally pile drive somebody?
You don't accidentally pile drive anybody.
He couldn't see. He had tequila in his face. I don't know if you've ever had tequila in your face, but that shit burns.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
It burns.
I'll take your word for it. That's fine.
Other than that, like just AEW this week had some good matches.
Did you hear about what the subtitle to the first Collision show is rumored to be?
What?
The Second Coming.
Oh.
You haven't heard that yet?
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think they
Yeah.
should spoil if it is a CM Punk return.
No, dude, they're doing
Oh,
the
yeah.
exact. It's totally CM Punk. They're doing the exact same thing they did with the first dance.
I don't think they should do that to pop a rating. I think he should come back at Double or Nothing.
He's coming back. I think it's
Get
the
that
17th.
big crowd pop. Get that big Vegas crowd pop.
Nah, he's gonna show up at the Chicago show, the first Collision, I believe.
Okay, well, if it's in Chicago, then okay, yeah. If it's in
Yeah.
Chicago, do it in Chicago. But
yeah.
Don't do it in like fucking Tennessee or something. Like no, that's
No,
a waste.
it's gotta
of
be
CM
Chicago
Punk.
when it comes back. It's gotta be.
Saturday, June 17th is in Chicago, and that's the first. I mean, again, this is all rumor, but it's a terrible rumor. We know this is what's happening. It's
It's the worst kept secret in wrestling. I still think he shows up at Double or Nothing.
Hey, it'd be nice. I mean, I'll be there in person for that one. So,
right?
Sure. But all right. Any other AEW stuff?
Yeah, well,
there
Kenny
was
Omega had Callis turned on Kenny Omega.
Yeah. Callis turned on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then so
which
I don't
like. I want to see him. I want to. We've talked about this to the upteenth. I want to see Kenny, whether he's a bad guy or good guy, get the hell away from the Elite. And this is one more step down that road.
How is it though? Because Callis was a douche to the Elite, but it was Omega that wasn't listening. So I think this is just Callis turning on the whole Elite, and he's just going to double down with the Hardly Boys. I don't know. I'm not excited about it.
You think Callis is going to start like filling the William Regal role with the BCC?
Something.
That's
that.
See, if that happens, then yeah, I hear what you're saying, Danny. That's just them and the Elite going at it. Yeah. That would suck.
Yeah,
they've teased us with a few matches of. This was a hardcore match between Moxley and him, right?
It was a cage match.
It was a cage match. It was a steel cage match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I'm hoping they keep doing the individual matches with him because
and then on Rampage, we finally got our boys the Acclaim finally got to like win a match, which was nice because everybody loves the Acclaimed. And then we had I guess the Hardy Boys, not to be confused with the Hardly Boys. The Hardy Boys,
they seem to be a mainstay on Rampage now.
Yeah, they're Jeff.
Did you guys go back and watch the compound match I was talking about last week?
No, honestly, I haven't. I've been so busy. You don't understand, man. So now
Delightful wrestling bollocks. I loved it.
I was from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. yesterday. I'm watching Battlestar Galactica with my guys, and we put that on his Patreon. So like we watch it, we pause, and it takes we only watched 3 episodes. And how long did I say? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. That was 5 hours.
If I have time with my new schedule, I wouldn't mind joining you guys on for a watch along on that because that's one of my all-time favorite shows.
This is and it's my first watch. It's my first watch.
Oh wow!
So,
okay.
Yeah. So then on Wednesday and Thursday, we do our reviews of the watch-alongs because he can put the watch-alongs on Patreon, but you can't put them. In fact, our last video got copyright claimed. We showed a little too much Battlestar Galactica footage on Thursday, so we got to dial it back this week coming up. So so I've got Wednesday, Thursday, I'm doing that. Saturday, I'm doing that. Sunday, I'm doing this. That's for
and you get ready
where's
to move and all that good stuff.
Yeah, where's this sweet podcast money you've been talking about, Johnny? Because I could fucking use some right about now. Let me tell you,
dude.
Because
it's
feeling like a job. It's starting to feel like a job, But it's fun.
And good news, though, I did get a new job this week.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, Mother, we just finished episode 6 of season 1.
So Apollo has shown up. The original Apollo from
the original Apollo.
Series.
Which I didn't know until they.
Tom Zarek.
Yeah. Have you ever watched the original series?
No, I haven't watched the.
I watched that when I was a kid. It was awesome, dude. Yeah.
So supposedly down the line, after we're finished with the,
here's a bit of trivia.
The movies.
Here's a bit of trivia about the original Battlestar Galactica. Let's see if you guys know it. Apollo's brother is the first death in the war with the Cylons. He's the first guy that dies in the original Battlestar Galactica. Can you tell me the actor who played him?
No, because I don't know shit about. What I was about to say
Rick
was
Springfield, the rock
Rick
star.
Springfield.
played
Oh,
him.
okay.
Yes. Oh my
You're
God. I blanked on it. I was like, I knew it was a musician, and I was like,
Well, Rick was on. He was on General Hospital back then, playing a doctor too. So he dabbled in acting his whole career. But yeah,
hey, man, he should have gone after Jesse's girl. Then.
He was Apollo's brother that got killed.
I do want to
Yep.
remind everybody. Sometimes we'll go on these nerdy tangents because it is Dork side of the ring. So it's but
Yeah.
I do want to get back to wrestling and address what Daryl says here in the chat. He says that reminds me, I don't like bloodletting extreme matches like thumbtacks or broken glass. I think he brings that up because in the steel cage match they brought out broken glass.
Oh yeah, they went crazy.
I agree with Daryl. I'm not a fan of that.
I think those things have their place.
They do.
However,
it's every week on AEW.
It's Moxley. It's just Moxley.
That's it. That's his.
Everything
shit,
is
man.
blood and guts with Moxley, and I'm like, dude, save it for the big shows. Not only are you,
But you know what, guys? When we get into it, it's happening a lot in WWE all of a sudden too.
Well, I don't know. I've gone back and I've watched.
Bloodletting is.
I don't know. I went back and I rewatched that when Brock split his head open. I think that was a legit hard way split. I don't think that was a blade job.
No, it wasn't a blade job, but it was a planned spot. And Brock split himself open hard way intentionally.
But no,
they did.
I'm talking about the Almighty busting his head open this week on a regular show.
Oh, dude, yeah. That had to be an accident, don't you think?
I think the Lashley thing was an accident.
I would think so too, but I mean,
I know the Brock thing at Backlash was a planned spot, and Brock did do the
plan to do that the hard way. Damn. Okay.
I've said it a million times. People can hate him for not wrestling every week and all that shit, but nobody sells like that guy, and he will.
If he likes you, he'll sell for you. Yeah.
Yes.
Lesnar?
Absolutely. Yeah. He's gone all in with Cody, dude. He's
Lesnar's all about respect, and if you respect him and he respects you, he's going to put on. He's going to do the job. He's going to go out there and make everyone look as good as he possibly can.
All right, then fuck it. Let's just get into it. Okay, we finally know now. It's going to be Seth freaking Rollins versus that over the hillbilly flat earther AJ Styles for the title.
How are you hating
AJ
AJ
Styles? What is with the hate for the phenomenal one? What is the problem, bro? I saw your tweet and I'm like,
I told you. That's fine. I'll be the chicken shit heel.
The country or what?
I'll be the chicken shit heel. AJ Styles is an ignorant hillbilly redneck who thinks the earth is flat and he's got no place.
Yes!
Yeah. Thank you very much, Das Wolf, and I appreciate it. Yes, thank you.
How do you like
Kick
it?
him out of his own damn show. AJ Styles is phenomenal.
You know what? And he's going to lose phenomenally to Seth freaking Rollins. No, Seth Rollins is going to be.
As much as I love AJ Styles, I don't think this was the right call.
Yeah.
Should have been Edge. It should have been Edge versus Seth.
It should be nothing but Raw people. What the fuck is SmackDown doing in it?
I 100% agree. Yeah. Which is how I know AJ's losing. You know?
What is one of the things I hate? Telegraphing your finish, telegraphing your ending.
Yeah.
And they just had a brand split draft.
Yeah.
But not only did AJ Styles came over, he came over with all his boys and Michin, and like it's a lot easier to swerve your audience by having somebody like Edge in the match because you don't know. Edge could feasibly go back to Raw. He's one guy.
This guy, Daryl knows what's up. Daryl knows what's up.
Seth's obviously
Seth's going to win it.
He's obviously winning. But with Edge, there was a question.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. No, with Edge, it would have been. Yeah.
Here's the problem with doing Edge. We've already had the ending of that feud.
No, man. Did you see his social? He had kind of sold me. He fooled me on social media.
Social media sold me too. I was believing in the dream.
Yeah, I was too, man. Because he wanted to do the Mickey James thing. Joe, did you not see his social media post?
No, I didn't see that.
Can I?
Well, you go. Yeah, you do it. Yeah.
So, for one, after the show, go on Edge's Twitter and watch this video. It's
I can do it right
really
now.
good and heartfelt. It's just
shit. Pull it up. We can share it. We're not going to get a copyright strike. Yeah, we're
not getting a copyright strike today.
No, we can't get a copyright strike for sharing a freaking Twitter video.
Oh,
it's
video. All right.
Yeah.
Let me,
let's because I think our audience might be interested in this as well.
And it's a good story. Like, why
it is, man. It would have been. I know, man. I don't know if he went into business for himself or this was approved by the company ahead of time. Either way, that's it's such a lost
Either way,
opportunity.
because of the steam it's gotten, they should have called an audible.
Yeah.
It should have called an audible.
Okay, is this the one that says Howdy SmackDown? Where he's in a Nike shirt?
Let me see it. I can't see.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah, it's a video. It's about, I think it's like 2 minutes long.
He's somewhere. He's got a t-shirt. Yeah. I think it's like a blue t-shirt or something. Gray, maybe. I'm colorblind.
Yeah, and he's like, I think he's at home.
Looks like he's in a gym to me.
Oh, a lot of these guys have home gyms. Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
This is it. Okay, hang on. Let me get it ready to play. And then I will go to the screen and make sure the sound is up. Yep, and here we go.
Hey, everybody. So this isn't some kind of mapped out wrestling promo or anything. I'm sitting in what is my second home, a wrestling ring. Trying to get in some reps before SmackDown tomorrow night, where I face Rey Mysterio and AJ Styles. And I can't say enough about those guys. I know AJ and I have had our differences in the past. And you know the history with me and Ray. Those two guys are the reason a lot of people are in our industry. And I expect to have one hell of a match. I also expect to win it. I have to. You know, some people have been running around saying they're going to finish their stories, right? And good for them. But it made me think a little bit about my story. The introduction of the WWE Heavyweight Championship, if I look at that thing, it even looks like the title that I never lost. Looks like big gold. 12 years ago, I was forced to give that thing up. Never had a chance to get it back. Now I have a chance. And it all comes full circle. You know, this ride, it's going to end sooner than later. Let's face it, we all know that. I got to get this done. It's the last thing to do. It's the period on the end of the sentence, right? It's the last sentence in the book. I got to get that stuff out of the basement. And I just got to do it. You know, all of you that are watching this, I assume you've been with me on this ride. And I really appreciate it. It's going to end soon. And I got to end it right this time. And there's no better way to finish it than to win the World Heavyweight Championship. And then when I lose it, that's it. I'm done. So Ray, AJ, bring your best tomorrow. I know you will. I can't wait to see you in there, to be honest. Let's tear it up.
Yeah, man. See, like that's the Mickey. He's like, he basically said if he won the title, the second he lost it, he'd retire, like the Mickey James storyline.
Right,
God,
the last rodeo. Yeah.
Dang it, man. That would have been so freaking good.
Oh, yeah.
So good. It's like,
okay.
Even if he didn't beat Seth, it's still a better story to tell than AJ Styles, man. I don't know. I don't know why everybody blows AJ Styles. Dude's old. He's stupid. He's short. He's not even that good. What
kick him out? Shun the non-believer.
I'm just gonna let him rant.
For the record,
he's
AJ Styles
burying
is
himself
amazing,
every time.
Danny's
With every
wrong.
word he says, he's burying himself. Yeah. By the way, sucking up to a 70-year-old, you know, that's great, man. Yeah. Could we watch some younger people wrestle? Could we do that, Danny? Could we watch some younger people wrestle?
What are you talking about? Edge?
Talking about Edge and his 67-year-old ass.
No, he's not. He's like 48.
Let him quit already. Let him quit already.
Oh, God. See? Hey, you know what? No, Joe's letting a little inner heel come out. I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
That's
will
it.
allow it.
That's it. Let's watch some young guys. Let's watch some young guys.
So we also, so in addition to, so we know if, correct me if I'm wrong, we already know of 3 matches, one of which is not a title match. And we learned that on Night of Champions, which historically was every single match was a championship match, but not this time. So why is it Night of Champions? But not only that, the number 1 title, you know, Roman Reigns is WWE Undisputed Universal Intergalactic fucking whatever it's called.
Defending the
And he's not
championship
defending.
at this
Yeah, he's not defending that title. No,
He's
he
going
and Solo
after
Sikoa,
one.
Yeah, he and Solo Sikoa are going after Sami Zayn.
What a segment, man! This continues to be the best thing they're doing.
It
Can we
does. Or go ahead. Yeah.
Do we understand the significance of this? They're actually going to let Sami Zayn wrestle in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
See,
interesting.
I'm still not buying that. I think something's going to happen between now and then because there's no way they're going to let Sami Zayn wrestle in Saudi Arabia.
No, actually. So, like, I don't know if you've been like keeping your ear to the ground on the political landscape, but Saudi Arabia and Syria have come to they found a separate peace.
They buried the hatchet. Is what you're telling me?
So Syria was recently readmitted into the Arab League, which is like all the.
Okay.
So
I didn't know that. I didn't know this.
deal.
Okay.
So
That
apparently the international beef has been squashed
For now.
So now
Cool.
that's why Sami Zayn is allowed to wrestle in Saudi Arabia.
I will let this Sami Zayn wrestle in my country, but he must lose. That's what I feel like they were told. Something like that.
Right.
Kevin could win. Kevin could get the pin.
I hope, because I think it's the wrong call to put the tag titles on Roman with the other 2 titles. It's like, Jesus Christ, man, it's too much.
To answer Das Wolfen's question, you might want to highlight that too.
So Sami Zayn is.
Hold up. Let's read the question first for those.
Why can't Sami Zayn wrestle in Saudi Arabia? Is the question.
For a long time, it's not a Jewish thing, Daryl. It's Sami Zayn's family is Syrian.
Yeah,
and
he's Canadian.
For decades,
but yeah,
for decades, Syria and Saudi Arabia have basically been in a Cold War.
Yeah,
you know, and as somebody who's spent some time in that part of the world, like there's a lot of deep-rooted cultural animosities. I mean, you have two major sects of Islam, the Sunnis and the Shiites. And they have the same basic religion, but because of one or two little things that they disagree with from decades, like centuries ago, these people are basically in a blood feud with themselves. So there's a lot of cultural politics. It's not necessarily international borders.
It's not quite the pitch of the Irish and Protestants in Ireland, or excuse me,
this is like the original Catholics. This is like the OG religious feud. This is like You know, this is the Hogan and Andre to Rock and Austin. Like if the Ireland situation is Rock Austin, this is Hogan Andre.
So
like this,
I want to say
it's been forever.
I'm going on week 2 of using this stuff, and I'll be honest, I'm probably not a good poster child for it because I was just noticing that you're wearing a Golden Knights jersey, and that just reminded me of what made it so easy for me to transition into being a Knights fan. And that was Marc-Andre Fleury, because he was the goalie for the Pittsburgh Penguins, which made the transition easier for me. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, Fuel Up Play says it helps you with concentration. I think I need to be drinking more than 1 a day. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you. Anyway, back to you guys.
So, funny enough, Marc-Andre Fleury's a big reason why I transitioned to being a Knights fan.
Oh, right on.
But it was.
They did him dirty. They did him so dirty.
It was kind of a darker reason though, because so I was downtown on the Strip when October 1st happened.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they kept a lot of us there till like 4 a.m. because they had the whole south end of the Strip on lockdown. And I remember like I went home. I was still really awake and rattled because I was at the Excalibur when that all went down. Like I was across the street from
yeah. I
have a lot of friends. I'm referring to on October 1st,
the mass shooting, the MGM.
Yeah,
mass
we had one of the
shooting.
deadliest mass shootings in the history.
Yeah.
The
of
bump
world.
stock.
The bump. Yeah, the bump. Yeah. Yep.
And I was literally right down there at ground zero where it happened. I wasn't at the festival grounds. I was across the street, but they still had everybody locked down. I saw a lot of crazy shit that night. But the very next day, like my adrenaline was so high, and like I didn't want to go home right away. So I stayed up all night when they opened the blood banks. I got
phrasing. I was going to play the phrasing clip, but it's not in ours. Yeah, I guess fair enough.
But I wound up going down to donate blood, and while I was down there, like a number of the Golden Knights players were out there, and they had just gotten off the plane. They had just showed up for practice, maybe like 3 days.
They really, that's why it pissed me off.
They endeared themselves to this town right away.
Like lots of the players that we don't have anymore, like not just Marc-Andre Fleury, and I'm glad a couple we still have Marshy. He's the only one, right? I think he's the only
Carlson.
OG.
We still have Carlson.
And we still have Carlson. Okay. But, dude, like getting rid of it. We literally traded Fleury for nothing. The year
we
he
still
won
have
the
my boy.
fucking award for being the best goalie.
Braden McNabb.
Yeah. And then we got, dude.
That first year was really special, though. Because
it really was. And we really messed up. Like Pete DeBoer is a piece of shit. I'm glad we got rid of him. He was the worst thing that ever happened to the Vegas Golden Knights. Fucking hate that guy.
I love
hate that guy. No, he's the reason Fleury's not around anymore. DeBoer sabotaged Fleury's Vegas. Like Fleury was on the record. He and his family liked it here. They wanted to stay here. He wanted to retire here. And Pete DeBoer was like, nah, I got this new shiny toy who hasn't even played since his fucking surgery.
Yeah, Leonard.
We run
Leonard
Joe off talking about
it.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to. And then we got to get rid of Reeves. Reeves is he's on my fucking fridge. He's on my water magnet thingy for like when I can water my lawn. And he's not with us anymore. It's ridiculous. It's like, hey, we got Daniel's Hot Topic saying hi. Hey, Daniel.
But yeah, so the day after the mass shooting, I got to meet Marc-Andre Fleury. He thanked me for donating and for like, what I was out there doing. And I was a little starstruck. And keep in mind, this guy came from a team I hated. I'm used to booing this guy because I hate the Penguins.
Yeah.
But when he became a Golden Knight, I became a Golden Knight. And
we got rid of Tuck. That pissed me off. Getting rid of Tuck. I mean, we got dude. These were players we should have kept, especially because of the October 1st shooting. I hate to say that, but there were those core guys we should have kept.
Sports, as a lifelong sports fan, you can't get attached to everybody.
I know that's what everybody tells me, but dude, I mean, if you look at Reeves was our poster boy for the Las Vegas Valley Water District.
I miss Argoon.
I know, right? And he was so good. And then, Marc-Andre Fleury, he was the feel good. Everybody loved, public. He was like, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but not our puppet, but our mascot. He was basically like a real life mascot. I know we have the other, the mascot, but
we even have the dog. Have you met Marc-Andre Fleury?
I have. Yes.
The sweetest little boy.
Yeah, and he's worth a follow on Twitter, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, and if you like cute dog pictures, follow Marc-Andre Fleury on Twitter.
Hey, and Remo is adding to. I don't know if he's a little bit
the Sami Zayn situation.
Yeah. So wow, it happened in March. So I'm out of the. I am not as up to current events as I should be, but I also live a happier life not watching as much news as I used to. So
I always thought it was a little closed-minded to not have Sami Zayn, because it's not like Sami Zayn is from. I mean, he is a first-generation Canadian. His parents are from Syria, but he's Canadian. He is born and bred in Canada, in Montreal.
Yeah. So I guess is Joe gone and protest? Maybe he went and got a beer.
No, I'm right here. It's just
this segment brought to you.
If you're going to continue the the Golden Knights / NHL segment of the show. I'll put in a call to my brother. He's the expert in the family. He's still, matter of fact, we have that segment on our show where we give out the Simple Jack Award for the stupidest son of a bitch all week, right?
Yeah.
And 2 weeks ago, it was the collapse of the Boston Bruins that got the Simple Jack Award, right, against Florida. And he's still pissed about it. He almost made him the Simple Jack Award winner this week. Just to carry it over. So...
Well, hopefully the Boston Celtics will be getting the Simple Jack for this week.
Well, their game's at 3.5 hours.
12:30. Like, I'm actually going to watch it as soon as we're done here. I'm going to turn it on.
Oh shit!
Baby.
Who are they playing? The Sixers.
The Sixers. It's game 7. It's game 7.
I was way off. So that game's on now. I thought it was on at like 4:30. So I'm
it's on now, and I'm with you guys right now.
Okay. Well, hey, we appreciate it.
Right
there. Yeah.
I'm a Boston Celtics fan. I'll be pulling it down.
Joe.
But I don't watch the NBA. That's the last sport on my list.
Look at that.
I'll watch.
Yes.
The top
look at that,
sports.
Joe.
It's football. It's baseball. It's hockey, and then it's NBA for me.
So my girl Cece, she's the one that's got me into sports. So like Daryl, she's a LA Lakers lifer.
Yeah.
She's a LA Dodgers, but for some reason she's a New York Giants. That's the only reason. I'm not a New York Giants fan. The only reason I have this cup is because she broke my SummerSlam cup, so I confiscated this one from her. Yeah, it was the cup with Cena and Roman Reigns.
Daryl Harris, I love you, man, but we have to agree to disagree. You know how it is the ultimate NBA rivalry, and I understand why you want Boston out, because you really, as a Lakers fan, you cannot relax until Boston's out of it.
Yeah. Because even though I'm not a huge fan, I mean, I remember when I was a kid, Larry Bird and
Magic. That was the
Magic
ultimate
Johnson.
basketball to me.
I mean, the Sixers do have the coach that beat the Lakers in the final.
I literally had that Atari game. I don't know if you guys remember. There was literally a Magic Johnson. There was a Magic versus Bird.
Magic versus Larry Bird.
Atari game. Yeah, I literally had that Atari game.
But, boys and girls,
dating myself.
Now that we've covered all the sports, let's get back to the one the show's about. The fucking bloodline, boys and girls, continues to get better because Roman Reigns has decided he's going to show his troops how it gets done.
And he better. So that's what I'm worried about, because he got into Jimmy's face. And he face palmed him.
Yeah.
That's who should get the Simple Jack Award this week, is Jimmy Uso.
He got punked out, dude. He got
not going through his brother and kicking his ass. Right?
Yeah,
he's literally in the middle of a little small simmering war between Solo and Jay. From Backlash, and I just remember watching Backlash. I'm like, man, Jimmy is just like a happy idiot in the ring right now.
Right.
He just all smiles and completely cannot read the room right now.
Right.
And I felt the same way watching this segment. Jimmy Uso just cannot read the goddamn room.
Dude, no, look at this. Daryl, dude, that's the segment we're talking about, man. That shit was fire, dude. That shit was fire.
It continues to be the best thing WWE's doing, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. For those on KGRA, Daryl said that segment the other night where he told the Usos off was awesome. And we totally.
It was great. It was great. He demanded an apology from him because Jimmy was just laughing, giggling.
Just a happy idiot, man.
And of course he was like, "Hey, you acknowledge me. You better friggin' apologize. That better be the next thing out of your mouth." Was shoving him around and shit. And Jimmy decided he was going to go after Roman, and Jay steps in and apologizes.
And apologizes. It's like, and I get why they're doing it, because the story is 3 years ago. It was main event Jay Uso taking on Roman, and he couldn't beat him, so he got put in his place. And
it was in the Thunderdome. It was during COVID.
He's trying to save his brother the same fate. But I think, here's what I hope happens, because I really don't want Roman to get another title, is Jimmy does something to screw Roman so they lose, and we get
I think's going to happen.
And we get a Roman Jimmy feud, kind of like the J one we had 3 years ago. That's what.
Okay.
Could see something like that. I don't think they're going to take the belts off of Sammy.
I don't either. And I think that would be a really good filler feud until we get. So I think because of this Brock Lesnar stuff, I think Cody Rhodes is going to win Money in the Bank, and that's going to be the way he gets back to.
It's a good call.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to do it in a chicken shit way. I think he's going to call his shot and say, "I want you at SummerSlam." I'm going to tell you now. Yeah,
he can really telegraph and draw it out and be like, "I call you out for WrestleMania. I want part 2."
Yeah,
or that. Now I think they're trying to make SummerSlam as big as WrestleMania. Oh shit, where's it at? So, John, look this up.
Detroit.
Is it in Detroit? Yeah, but it's at but like what stadium though? Like it's a big fucking stadium.
Wherever the Lions play.
It's
Ford Field.
Ford Field. Yeah, it's a stadium show. Like they're trying to make SummerSlam
not just
WrestleMania.
Any stadium. That's it.
Yeah.
They're going to get 100 plus.
They could.
SummerSlam a few years ago was here in our stadium at the Allegiant.
Yeah,
and then
but we only had like 70K. We only had 70K at our show, I believe. Now I think that was honestly, I think that was an inflated number because I was there.
It was still a lot of people, and that place is deceptively large.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, man, if they could, we're talking, they could break in one night. They could be breaking records from decades ago, man. Like, because now they try to have it both ways. We had over 120,000 people at WrestleMania over 2 nights. You know what I mean? But like, you know what I mean? So whereas like if they can break the Thunderdome record, or was it the Pontiac Silverdome? Sorry, the Silverdome record, the 92,000. If they can break that with a freaking SummerSlam, you telling me they wouldn't be over the fucking moon for that? That's what it's honestly where I see it.
As soon as you said Silverdome, you know what I saw?
Hulk Hogan saying Superdome?
I saw Hogan saying Silverdome when he was in the Superdome at WrestleMania 30. Too fucking funny, man.
I was wrong. It's Ford Field, not Ford Arena.
Yeah. Field. Yeah, that's what Joe said. Yeah, that's what Joe said.
Yeah.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
And Joe.
Look, when it comes to a football field, I usually know the name of the place, man. I'm a football maniac, so yeah.
Hey, if you want to redeem yourself, John, do me a favor and look up how many. What's the capacity at Ford Field? Like that's what I want to know.
I believe it's in the 70,000 range, but you've got to take into consideration the fact that they can house even more than that on the field.
Exactly. So, yeah.
It's going to be 90,000 to.
You think so?
To 100. It's going to be close to 100,000.
Yeah.
If they do it right. Yeah.
Okay.
I would imagine. No doubt. But
it has the capacity of 65,000.
65. So we're talking in the 90s.
That's probably, is that for football games though? Because
that's football.
Yeah, expandable to 70,000 for football and up to 80,000 for basketball.
80,000 for basketball? So that's about comparable.
That's comparable.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're not there's no way. Well, he'll probably break SummerSlam records. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, John.
Who does basketball in a football stadium?
Right? You'd think wrestling would be. You'd think they would list wrestling.
It could be. It could be for college games. I mean, it's. They do things in different venues for different things.
Yeah,
that's true. I do like when they do the Winter Classic for the NHL and they have
they do that in baseball fields,
in the baseball stadium,
football fields. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, I don't want to brush over if there's any more information with the Bloodline storyline you want to go over. Let's wrap that up because we only got about 10 minutes, and I have to talk about Cody Rhodes. I have to.
Yeah, let's get into Cody. I mean, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Like,
I think it's a great move by Roman. You guys know I'm a Roman homer. I love the guy.
Yes,
and this is a great move. It is.
You need to change that. You need to change that Nikki Victory simp to Roman Reigns simp.
No doubt. Yeah. Sure does. Yes. Anyway, so Cody Rhodes, go.
Cody, dude, oh my God. So how good.
He got screwed again.
But it was perfect. It was so good. So good. So good. He had it 1. He hits it 3 times. And then Brock Lesnar just rips him out of the ring. And he's like, what do you want to talk about, Cody? I want to talk about my face. Oh my, this was like Brock's best. This was like one of Brock's best vibes. Dude, it was one of his best promos, if not his best Brock's ever. Like
I was
so
getting some
good.
real Rorschach from Watchmen. He's like, my face,
Yeah,
my face,
Yeah, my face. Yeah.
He had like 5 staples in it. You can see.
Yeah, just that. But then he had the black eye and he had the cut under his nose.
He kicked his own ass.
Yeah, you know.
You said it earlier. If Brock wants to sell for you, he'll go big and go home for it.
And so that's why I think Brock's going to win at Night of Champions, and then Cody's going to win the rubber match, and then he's going to go on to win Money in the Bank. Or they could hold off the rubber match. Cody, so they're 1-1. Cody wins Money in the Bank. After Cody becomes the champion, the rubber match is for the title versus like Brock Lesnar's challenging for the title.
Brock will be able to challenge it once Roman.
Exactly. But then you have Cody win the rubber match to solidify. Like, God damn, I hope that happens now that I've said that out loud.
Yeah, I was like, let's will that into existence because that's a good story. I would do that.
That would be really good.
If I was booking WWE, that's how I'd do it.
Yeah. What do you think, Joe? What are you looking for?
I'm sorry. I'm looking for the list of pay-per-views and the order they're going to be in, so we could see how many we have.
I know we
now
have.
and SummerSlam.
I know we have. We have
Money in the Bank for sure. Night of Champions.
Yeah, we have Night of Champions. Then in London, in the UK, we have Money in the Bank. And then I think it's SummerSlam. Actually, that's why I changed my thing to I think the rubber match has to be after, because I think Cody goes on to win Money in the Bank, challenges Roman by calling his shot at SummerSlam, wins the title there, and then whatever's after SummerSlam, he and
probably
Brock.
Extreme Rules.
I hope not.
I know. I want them to do something.
I thought they were.
Okay,
with the exception of Money in the Bank and Elimination Chamber, do away with all.
We have one pay-per-view between Night of Champions. This is where your rubber match will happen. Battlegrounds. No, that's NXT. There is no pay-per-view.
There isn't one.
There isn't one. So he'd have to win Money in the Bank.
That's what.
Before he wraps up with Brock.
God, and that would be so good because then it could be Cody Brock for the title, and Brock does the honors. And really, and you already know, like, Brock has no problem doing it, just the way he sounds. Like, dude, Brock fucked himself. Like, people don't understand. He did that shit to himself. You know what I mean? That big black eye and
You've only got 2 pay-per-views before SummerSlam. It's
Night of Champions and Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank, and that's it.
Yeah, and then SummerSlam. So it's got to happen in that order. And then what's after SummerSlam? Is it a big enough thing for the Cody Brock? Do you think they
after SummerSlam, man?
So they're going to stretch that out to Survivor Series?
Survivor Series will be in November, but I think I kind of like that they're doing the whole like brand versus brand.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think this year's Survivor Series is going to be brand supremacy again. Like champions versus champions.
Oh, you think so? That shit sucks. God,
especially if you take the belts off of Roman.
I mean, that's garbage. Please don't do. You know what I miss? And don't do
I do want to see a Team Raw versus Team SmackDown in War Games.
Okay,
I think that would be a lot of fun.
Hey, that's fine. Survivor Series War Games. That's fine. I'm fine with that. That was a William Regal reference. Anybody? So the thing with Survivor Series that I miss is what I grew up watching as a kid. The 10-man elimination, the 5-on-5 elimination. Give me at least one freaking Survivor Series match. We didn't even have a single one last year.
Well, War Games.
We have War Games, but like it used to be every card on the match was that. Then they were like, okay, then there's 2 cards on the match,
and it does stretch
and then one. How so?
I don't need every match to be.
That gets you to
a 5-man elimination tag.
You get somewhere between not every match. You like every match but the title match, or maybe that and the tag title match. So you have 4. You have 4 elimination matches, IC match, tag title match, world title match. 7 matches on the card, perfect. And you got 40, somewhere between 50 and 60 people. On your show. Fuck, I left out the women like a pig-headed asshole, and one of the women's titles. You know what I mean? Like you got to have at least 1 or 2. Like, so
see, I would say like my favorite Survivor Series of all time didn't have any elimination matches. It was 1998 Deadly Games, the title tournament. That to me was
so.
favorite Survivor Series of all time.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I've just been looking for something past SummerSlam. They don't have anything scheduled. I mean, we know what the pay-per-views are,
they
the
haven't,
big ones and everything.
They haven't released
them scheduled yet.
The only one that's for sure is going to be Survivor Series. And the reason they haven't released the schedule yet is because I think, they're getting rid of the gimmick. Like, I think Extreme Rules pay-per-views.
Ladders and chairs isn't one anymore, I don't think.
Hell in a Cell's not one anymore, which they proved by having the Hell in a Cell match at Mania.
Right.
TLC is not going to be one anymore, and I think we can add Extreme Rules to that list. I think they'd be better, bringing back anything.
It's on the list, but it's not scheduled.
Yeah.
Extreme Rules is there. It's
is
on their list. If you go to the website and look under Premium Live Events, which is what they call pay-per-views now, the Extreme Rules is there.
Premium Live Events. PLEs.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Whatever.
Doing my Simon Miller. I'm channeling Simon Miller. Right now.
There you go. Whatever it is. Whatever. As my man Wes says on Whatever Cast. Whatever. But, yeah, man. Night of Champions is actually looking like a good show to me. I'm wondering who the women's tag thing. I guess that's going to be Damage Control. I imagine they're going to do that again. I'm trying to think of
I actually think there's somebody out. There's another team waiting in the wings, and I think they have a really good shot.
Who's that?
We haven't seen Ronda Rousey or Shayna Baszler since Mania.
Oh my God, yeah, they need to make a few appearances before that though, and we've only got a couple weeks, so yeah, I could see that happening. Damn, I forgot about them. They haven't been on TV in a while, so
not since Mania.
And you know who won that match? Daryl, do you?
That was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. That was pretty good.
That was great. That was great. Yeah. But
sorry, I just happened to have the mask because I did it on Joe's show the other day. I just happen to have it right here. So I was like, I can't miss the opportunity to do that.
You need to keep it. You need to keep it for when you want to go off on somebody. Yeah.
We should interview you as Mankind.
We got about 3 minutes left, so we were just
2 minutes. We're down on 2 minutes now. 2 minutes.
Yeah, we were just discussing who might be in the mix for the women's titles, but Asuka. It's funny. My wife told me she read a story where Asuka was going heel. I was like, when did she go face? She's been spitting.
She's been a tweener. Now she's full heel.
Yeah. She's That's how I put it.
She blasted Belair the other night, and I was like, yes, I like that a lot because I'm not a fan of Bianca Belair. Don't ask me why. It's the hair.
I told you what I call her, right?
No,
Jane Cena.
Jane Cena.
First of all,
that's awesome, man. That's perfect.
First of all, that's good. That's good because especially after the reaction she got in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
But dude, she got her little ceremony for being the longest reigning women's champion of the modern era, whatever that means. Yeah, I know.
And then Asuka spit in the face of people who don't like to be cool.
Spit in the face. Yes. So look, here's the thing. We all know I'm a huge mark for Bianca. I love Bianca Belair, and I know for whatever reason, Joe, she's not your cup of tea.
It's the hair gimmick. I can't stand
it, man. Dude, she's so like. I lived in North Carolina for a lot of my formative years. She reminds me of so many chicks I went to high school with. She just I love her sass.
I'd like to see her as a heel. Actually, man.
I call her Jane Cena now because I am not hating on Bianca. I actually really enjoy Bianca.
Now,
and
if she was a heel
matches are fucking
and whipping people with that hair, that would be badass.
You've got 30 seconds.
Okay.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thank you for joining the Dork Side of the Ring. We'll be back. Same fat time, same dork channel. I did that wrong.
Support Nikki Victory.
Yeah, hold up. One more.
This is Nikki Victory. Make sure to check out Dork Side of the Ring every Sunday at 11 Pacific.
She's so adorable.
Hasta luego.
See you guys. Keep